Hello, everyone.
Hello, anyway.
Wow, I thought we had grown past this.
You can never. Shout out to K10 in these dangerous times.
Yes, welcome back to another episode of the Open Africa podcast. We have the usual suspects here. Myself,
Hello.
Laolu.
Have you washed your hands?
I believe I have.
Okay, fantastic.
Mr. Nosa, are you with us?
I'm here. Again,
Yes.
Nosa is standing beside the sink.
Again, doing this remotely.
Yes.
Yes, we are practicing
Social
self-isolation and social distancing.
And we hope all of
Yeah.
you do the same.
So first things first.
Coronavirus!
What do we think? So in terms of coronavirus impacting society and how we basically live our daily lives, we see a lot of businesses shutting down, like the physical store locations or restaurant locations and all of that, and sort of leaning more towards relying on the digital delivery services. So obviously things are picking up. Jumia's of Nigeria, Supermarts, Oya now.
Yeah. Although to be fair, from a health perspective, I feel like even those companies still have a bit of work to do, because the ordering is fine, but the human being bringing it, please, can you ask your guys to wash their hands? Bike rider.
See, you need to start doing whatever they're ordering. You should just drop it outside your house and go. That's how you do it. Drop it outside the house. They shouldn't touch you. They shouldn't, just leave it on the floor. You pick it up yourself.
Yeah.
First,
because sometimes I look at those delivery guys and I'm like,
your delivery needs to die.
Is bringing. You can't be looking like you just changed the engine of my car. What's going on here?
But that's the thing now. These guys, do you know what they deal with on the way? So sometimes I've dealt with so many riders that on their way, bike pack up, they have to park by the roadside, find somebody that will patch the bike up for them, then they continue the journey. I go through a lot of stuff on the road, so I've just come to the point where however I see them, I just take them like that and just,
I feel like this whole pandemic is going to redefine many approaches to business, for smaller companies. Should we really be paying this much in rent? Can we divert all that money into tools like Zoom and maybe Slack and all those tools that aid remote work for logistics? Sorry, you were saying?
So my thing with all of that is that sounds very nice for like the well-developed countries where internet access is, a simple thing, like it's a thing that they all have, so you see that, so the guys like I think hotels.ng and a couple, I think CC Hub guys as well. I saw a couple of people tweeting about, trying to put pressure on the telcos to, offer cheaper data plans so that they can pay for all their employees to work remotely.
MTN sent me a message today telling me that in this period I should go and shop for more data. They didn't tell me what to do. Said I should go and shop for more data. Anyway, I feel like what's it called? This coronavirus thing, it's going to kill a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
You're so many people are going to die. Because especially if you're like here, you guys work in structure. You are going concern. So
in fact, no,
it's not even just.
I'm laughing because of how morbid you sound, but I know that what you're saying is correct.
It's the reality. It's the reality of.
Yeah, it's the reality. It's my coping mechanism.
Especially businesses that burn cash. If you're not going to bring in money in that period to offset the cash that you're burning, you're going to run out of money very quickly. This is not
which is why perhaps suspending activities might be But then again, it has that ripple down effect.
You're going to sack all your employees.
Exactly. That's the point I was going to make. Like, it has the ripple effect. So you then fire all the employees, and then those ones are now looking for food to eat as you sack them. And then what then happens? Are they going to go hungry? Are they going to buy stuff on credit? We don't have like a mature what's it called? Yeah.
Because in other countries that you're
terrifying times, to be fair.
They're begging government to give like loans to bail them out, basically. Here is like, your landlord is still going to ask you for your rent. Like, ask for his rent. Like, it's not stopping. I mean, there's really nothing you can do. Like, this is the worst type of country for something like this to hit.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely.
Yeah. Because I've been thinking about it a lot, and from my point of view, it's like we have two paths sort of that we can take. One is that everything just descends into chaos. Crime goes up because people are desperate. Everything is shut down, and we are running up and down. The second scenario, it feels a bit unlikely, but I strongly feel like one day, like if we don't get it under control, Nigerians are just going to come out and just resume work. And just go back to everything that they do. I will be walking around with the virus.
We're either going to die or not. Because it's either going to kill your business or it's going to kill you, but something is going to die.
Yeah. Something's going to die.
What do you get?
You guys work for a big company. And I will bet you, if they go 6 months without making money, they're going to shut down. Or at least they'll email you guys and tell you, hey, we might pay you half salary this
month. Services no longer required.
They will tell you that your services are no longer required.
So for me, obviously, I'm in both sides of this. I'm in the startup world and I'm in the, the corporate world. Startup end, we've had to shut down our services, and our services rely on us, moving people from place to place. And if we can't move people from place to place, it means we're literally not making any. Yeah. We have zero naira coming in. So
it's a tough time for the country as a whole. And I feel like people are going to have to find very innovative ways to make, if any. There are some people that there's just no hope. The only thing I feel they can do reasonably is offer up prayers, especially when you consider just how responsible the Nigerian government is. Because
this is the time for businesses to start. I don't know if you pivot or you start adapting to the times. But there's opportunity, Sha. There's opportunity. Especially those delivery businesses that
exactly.
This is the time to build the biggest network of dispatch riders that you can possibly build.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people that are out of jobs.
Yeah. But then again, on this podcast, many times when we say some things, we always circle back to the issue of multi-dimensional poverty in Nigeria. Do you think that we have a middle class and upper class, or a middle class essentially, to be fair, because they're the ones who use a lot of all these delivery services? Do you think we have a market big enough to accommodate all the pivoting? So I'm thinking the likes of, say, So Fresh now, right? So Fresh today, when I entered their outlets, they had moved out all their seats, so you can't sit down. You can only buy and take out. Mm-hmm. And then they had 3 delivery bikes. But in the event that you can't even walk in anymore, do you think that they will be able to maintain sales on the basis of deliveries, the number of things that they ship? So I think I'm struggling to articulate this.
Because the thing is, Nigeria, the way living in Nigeria generally is just expensive. So you pay for your power, you pay for power, but you're not just paying electricity, what's it called, discos. You're paying your generator fees as well, right? You're paying for, I don't know, DSTV or whatever. I think that just generally living is expensive. And then most people, ordering out is not something you do all the time. It's something that you do like maybe once or twice, depending on how, where on the scale of middle class to upper class you are. Like, ordering food in is not something you do all the time. So then in times of disaster where you don't know if your next paycheck is guaranteed, living off of, eating out daily, first of all, safety concerns are there, but then also like the cost of doing that perhaps is not,
So
yeah.
My theory is that it might not pan out, but if where it goes from ordering out being a luxury becomes a necessity. So say people are trying to limit their movement, limit where they go out. They don't want to go to the market. They don't want to, like, if the only way for you to get essentials is by want somebody bringing it to you. Like say we go into a state where not many people can move their cars anymore. Like not many people can drive on the road. There's like limited number of people allowed on the roads, and that limited number includes delivery guys. Now this is a unique opportunity for this delivery company, because if there are a lot, you can drive down the cost of delivery. And if you can drive down the cost of delivery, it moves from being a luxury to becoming normal. So again, I think
that's
it's
another
point. I get your point.
You're looking at your essentials. So this is like ordering your essentials. So your groceries, your I don't know, medical supplies or whatever. It's like your essentials, but not ordering like already.
Yeah, not ordering like food, but you start shopping online.
Yeah.
Like, shopping online now becomes the new normal. Because I feel like, for me, a lot of the things that happen in this period, a lot of the behaviors that we learn in this period will become normal behavior after we pass this period.
Yeah. It's why many people are betting on certain kinds of stocks. Admittedly, this is outside of Nigeria. In the US, for example, video conferencing and technology guys have
exactly like once you
their
start,
stocks have sort of performed decently
because everybody's adopting it now because they have to. Like before, you wouldn't use Zoom or you wouldn't use Hangout, but now that you have to work from home, your team has to use it. Like that's the only way you can get work done.
Yeah.
Trying to like make money or whatever. So it becomes like a necessity. Yeah. Then companies start after this, will now start reevaluating. It's like, maybe we don't need this many people in the office. Maybe we can do this thing remotely. Maybe we can automate certain things.
Yeah, correct.
So it will change the mentality. Depending on how long it's bad for, people will start adapting and start new ways to cut costs, for new ways to do things. And if you're a company in that space that can enable this innovation, God, you're going to make money. You're going to make so much money.
Yeah. We've even found that many businesses have started asking people to work from home. At first, they seemed reluctant to do so, but even the banks are sending people home. And I think that's one space that I'm very interested in what happens, like what next after this. If we find out that everybody can actually work from home, like your IT team can give you permissions that will let your core application run over the internet. Do you really need to put everybody in one place like this? Or do you
really need all those branches? If people are learned how to transact digitally, do you really need all those branches?
Correct.
If it goes the way I think it will go, and this is me looking at not the worst case scenario, but maybe the third worst case scenario, it will change a lot of how we do business, not just in Nigeria, but globally.
Yeah. And
speaking of opportunities though, so we've seen that you verify an identity management company in Nigeria raised $1.5 million seed investment in the midst of all this coronavirus madness, because obviously being able to identify people has now become top priority.
And I mean, maybe it's not because of corona they raised it, but for them it's a good opportunity because now big banks start looking at remote onboarding, like remote account opening.
Yeah.
Do people really need to fill form? They need to come inside. In fact, do we need to be printing all those paper? Like CEOs are going to be looking for new ways. Be like,
man, to be fair, Nosa, I think you are absolutely right, because I'm thinking now about a bank branch and what goes on in there, and these are literally things that you can do remotely. There has just been zero incentive on the part of the banks to set it up for their customers.
Yeah, and this is the one unique event that has forced their hand, and it's like, guys, we have to do this thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think even the regulator might have to, for those things that it is the regulator that is driving the back end process, they might have to revisit some of those things.
There's an opportunity. There's opportunity. I mean, a lot of people are going to die, but there's opportunity. When there's disaster, there's somebody that's making money.
There's always somebody making money. Well, in addition to the coronavirus, we also have the situation with oil prices going on. So oil has now, as of the day we're recording this, we're at $25 per barrel. And the Nigerian budget was basically done based off of $55 per barrel. So obviously there's a huge deficit for us in terms of finding funds for that.
It's called we are in trouble.
It's
in trouble.
The only thing that can help us is if Corona even gets these two people to stop, Russia and Saudi, to stop fighting. It's like, okay, guys, people need to go home, reduce your output, because this is, I think, the worst combination of things. Like, God. The more I think about it, like,
all sorts of things are happening at the same time.
All sorts of things are happening at the same time. It's like, it's just disaster.
Yeah. In the middle of this, Furo, didn't the CBN say that they have some stimulus package that they are?
Yeah, so they have some stimulus packages. They've crashed the rates of some of the intervention funds. Laolu, I believe you have more insight.
Yeah, so for context, right, you might have seen intervention fund mentioned on social media. So those funds typically refer to special funds that the CBN provides to businesses in certain sectors of the economy, because it's part of their drive to develop those sectors. For example, agriculture being one of them. So what happens is that for a normal bank loan, the bank provides the capital that is being lent or borrowed by the customer. But in the case of an intervention fund, it is essentially the central bank that provides that fund. So it is priced cheaper, usually single digits, and then they hand it over to the banks to lend to eligible customers within that sector. So agriculture being one of those sectors. I think healthcare is also one of them. Recently, they had one for creative, they called it the Creative Fund or something like that. So if you're like in Nollywood or you're like in fashion and entertainment, you would qualify. I mean, subject to you meeting certain standards in terms, criteria for your business. So what they are doing by not just crashing the funds, but also providing a moratorium for some businesses. A moratorium is basically a period in which you don't repay your loan. They are trying to soften the blow that's what is going on in the global economy is causing. I'm not sure if that came out coherently, but basically what they are trying to do is help businesses. So by reducing the amount you are paying in interest and giving you a window to, not pay back, it helps you raise cash as a business. And we know that cash flow is king for any business. So admittedly, this was a very good move on the part of the central bank. Like, out of all the things that they've done in a very long time, this is one thing that is really, really commendable. So credit where due, they tried for this one.
Yeah. In the midst of this as well, we've had CBN intervening again, because as we all know, when calamity strikes, some people will make plenty money, and the BDC started hoarding cash, hoarding FX, and driving rates up to their, benefits. And I believe CBN came out and caught a couple of them and fined them 5 million naira each.
That's too small. That's wickedness.
That 5 million is small. They should have fined them like 50 million. But the problem is that them get those businesses.
Shall revoke their license.
Baba. It's not that. Even this fine, guarantee.
No, you can't. Do you know why it is horrible? Because BDCs get those funds from the central bank at a fixed rate. And they give it to them to sell on there are conditions to which they can sell. So for every dollar that you buy on the streets of Nigeria, a significant portion is actually from the central bank. when they report it back to the CBN, only God knows how they report it. But every dollar sold in Nigeria has a purpose. So when BDCs get money for like maybe 356 or 357, and then they just decide to start hoarding and selling at 405, that's wickedness.
Wickedness.
For something that you're getting cheap.
5 million. 5 million is a slap on the wrist.
Well, I mean, I think they're just trying to let them know, because they normally find banks. Now, banks really chop fines easily, but BDCs have always gotten away with stuff. So this, I believe, will be a wake-up call for them.
Let's wait and see, Sha. And then the CBN also adjusted. They said it's not devaluation, that they are adjusting. They are adjusting. I can't even say this. I can't say it without laughing.
They are talking about as if it's what's called volume control. The volume, reduce the volume.
Do you understand?
Oh my God. And I know it's weird that I'm saying this, considering that I just praised them a few minutes ago, but it's our regulator now. Wow.
No, it's like on the inside, I'm sure they mean well. They mean well. But sometimes you just have to accept defeat.
Bro, so what's going on? Do you get?
Like,
just devalue these currency. Let all of us move on.
I'm sure the guy's like, oh, we can't just say it's devalue to send the wrong message. Bad for morale. Sometimes it's good to be bad for morale. At least let morale be low now. It can't get lower than this. Corona is here.
Yes. So it can be high tomorrow.
Then very soon they'll say 5 people have died from corona. In that period, you just announced that yes, you devalue the naira.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we've come to the end of this episode.
All right.
Any parting words?
Parting words.
Stay safe, people. Wash your hands, you dirty pig.
Don't leave your house. Stay inside the yard. This is essential.
Yeah, that's the real thing. Don't leave your house. They do all this washing hands. Stay in your house, dears. Yeah.
Anyway, goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.